Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Daniel with another installment of Daniel. This week I will be doing Infestation, a 2009 horror comedy directed by Kyle Rankin and starring Chris Marquette, Brooke Nevin, and Ray Wise. Infestation is pretty much a movie about Chris Marquette, who plays Cooper, who is an amazingly underachieving slacker who goes to work one day and gets fired. Hears a loud, excruciatingly painful noise that renders him unconscious. Then he wakes up covered in webs, weak, nauseous, and confused. After he gets himself free from said webbing, he finds a gigantic beetle-like bug, in which an ensuing fight occurs. And then Cooper goes out to discover that everything he knows has been taken over by giant insects, crawlies, flies, wormies, the whole 9 yards. This film is strictly made for entertainment. It is nothing more than what I just said. A slacker battles gigantic insects. If you're looking for something profound, then you're looking in the wrong place. For what this film is, it is entertaining. It is fun. It does keep you entertained like it's supposed to. It's filled with just an abhorrent amount of stereotypes. You gotta have your typical romance in every movie, and that's where Brooke Nevin comes in playing Sarah. So Cooper's trying to suit her the entire movie. You have your super smart Asian. You have your super strong black man, who happens to be deaf, so it takes away from the stereotype just a hair. God, your crazy redneck, white trash, white guy. You're not very bright, whorish, blonde-haired, big-breasted woman. And let me say now, you get to see her breasts. So, then you have Ray Wise, who comes in playing Cooper's father, who is your stereotypical crazy army, strict, I have no feelings father, that you see in so many movies. And then you have the backstory of Chris Marquette's mom being dead and blah 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 blah, and so on and so forth, and rah-de-rah-de-da. Like I said, if you come in here expecting this instant can of horror movies, you will be greatly disappointed. If you come in here looking for a fun time, if you pop this movie in on a Friday night, open a bag of kettle corn, buttery popcorn, movie theater style, I don't give it, whatever the fuck you eat. If you do that, then you'll be alright. If you just sit down and turn your brain off for an hour and a half, this isn't a very long movie, and just sit back and watch something that never, ever, ever takes itself seriously, and as long as you never take it seriously, you will be okay. This movie, that is what this movie is meant for. And from what I was reading online, there's supposed to be ensuing sequels, a second, a third, and they're supposed to make a trilogy out of this. Apparently the director and Chris Marquette have already signed on for them, but neither are in development, and this movie was made 3 years ago, so I highly doubt if the second one's not in development yet that they're actually going to follow through at that. But at the end of the movie, I will say this, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but it will leave you hanging, and you might be upset. I personally was not bothered by the ending of this film. From what I saw online, when I searched the movie to do a little research about it, there was a lot of people that were up in arms and all pissy about the end of the movie and thought that it was stupid to do that. And you can see that they're setting up for a sequel. That's all I'm going to tell you. But don't think too much about it. One of my only complaints is the CGI ain't too great. But this isn't a really big. This is not a big budget. This is a low budget. I think it was produced by Mel Gibson's Icon, which you're not seeing #1 at the box office films being produced by Icon very often, so you know that it doesn't have a great budget behind it. The CGI was a little off. It was reminiscent of some late 90s, maybe some Starship Troopers-esque style graphics. And what I mean by that is, back in the day when you watched Starship Troopers, you were like, oh my god, this shit is effing amazing. And the movie still holds up, the movie's still great, but you watch it now and you're like, yeah, some of these effects don't really look as good as I thought they did way back then. And that's the way this movie feels. I feel like if this movie had been made in 2003, the graphics would look freaking amazing. But it's 2012 now, and we've come a long way. And so they don't hold up every single time. But it's fun. And out of a rating, I would give this 2.5 out of 5. I thought about giving it a 3, but the only reason I didn't is because I don't know. It's so your typical Saturday night style horror film that just, it's gonna come, you're gonna enjoy it, and then it's gonna go. So I'm not gonna give this some high up on the ratings thing, because 3 years from now I might even forget this movie existed. But as for right now, it held my 90 minutes attentively, I guess you could say. Entertainingly attentively, I don't know how to refer to that, but whatever. I would rent it, skip it, or buy it. Rent it, give it a shot. If anything, have a few beers, sit at home, pop this thing in, don't think too much of it. Maybe have a couple friends over, BS, watch it. You'll get your kicks, and then you'll be done with it and move on to something else. On that note, I'm out of here. Have a good one, kids.